The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. Race number 3 of the eCAR late models takes us to Pensacola, home of the Snowball Derby for the Five Flags Speedway. It's going to be a quick one. 90 laps is all we have on offer here today, so the drivers will have to make their moves and make them quick because the time will tick and we'll see who ends on top. Chris Horton going for 3 in a row. Let's see if he can do it, guys. Welcome to PTR TV. Today's coverage, again, race number 3. That is out of date. Race number 3 of the eCAR late model series here at Five Flags. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth. Patrick Coleman, he's been my sidekick. That I was trying to think about the Batman to my Robin, something like that. You've been with me all week here, Patrick, but here we are. Much shorter race, but we'll see what these guys can do here at the High Bank Short Track.
Indeed, yeah, the home of the Snowball Derby here in Pensacola, Florida. A track that is actually in my home state, although granted it's about a 9-hour drive from where I'm at to there. But overall, we've seen some pretty good racing this season, and honestly, I'm expecting some good racing again here tonight. A bit of a shorter race compared to last week. Last week we did have the 200-lap race, and now this time it is about 90 laps here around this half-mile circuit. 15 degrees of banking in the corners, 9 degrees of banking on the straights. Overall lap or race lap record is a 17.6 set in 2024.
Yeah, that is a quick time around this place here, and for those affiliated with the league and who know some of the drivers in it, Dylan wanted me to give a very special shout out to Cody, who is now upgraded from girlfriend to fiance. Dylan, of course, the league owner here, and does a lot to put this league on, so she has the patience to allow him to do that. So special shout out to Cody. I'm sure she will be in our chat. But warm-up concluded here. I think, as you said, we got about 17 drivers here. And as we go down that list there, Patrick, we don't see Horton here. Horton is the one who has won the last 2 races, so he will not be going for that three-peat.
Which is kind of a disappointment for some, but it's definitely going to be much excitement for others, just because it gives the door pretty much, or knocks the door pretty much wide open to potentially see, well, I mean, obviously, unless he just spawns in out of thin air, we're going to see a brand new race winner here. I do want to go ahead and jump in and also congratulate Dylan. That is a fantastic announcement that we saw earlier on today. So once again, congratulations to Dylan, and hey, we'll see if that brings him a race win here tonight.
Yeah, sometimes a little bit of good luck and outside world good luck will come into the virtual world here and give you that little bit of additional speed. And actually, comparative to where he ran last week at Kern County, he is significantly faster here. Currently 5th on the chart, only about say half a tenth off here, at least in the warm-up session. But again, the warm-up coming to a close here, so it gives us the chance to give a shout out and a thanks to everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV. If it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit that like and subscribe button here on our mission to 1,900 subscribers. Just need a little bit more help from you. It's going to be a very busy time here on the channel with all of our leagues. Big special event coming on next month that you won't want to miss, so stay tuned for all the action. But that is going to be the end of warm-up here. You can see that countdown timer on the top left of your screen going down to 0. So that means we have nothing more to do than go down and let these fans know where their favorite driver is going to be starting here today at 5 Flags there, Patrick.
All right, so going ahead and showing off our top 10 here, it is William Keck and Johnny Dressler taking up row number 1. And then we go down to row number 2 is Nathan Rhew, Jack Fred. And now we have Brad Carpenter and Dylan Winters taking up row number 3, followed by Aaron Harden and Jay Beichner. And then we have P9 and P10, Brent Meckies and Spencer Steele rounding out our top 10.
And then this 17 drivers strong. We got Jack McKee in the 11th position, followed by Jacob Witt. He is going to be in the 12th spot. 13th finds John Gutekunst, and then Colt Huff, the Alabama native there in the 14th position. 15th finds Bryce De Guevara. I think I got that right. I listened to the clip he sent me, De Guevara. Pretty sure that's it. And John has made it known he wants to be Johnny B. So Johnny B in that 16th spot. And then the caboose on the train here this evening is going to be Jonathan Golden in P17. So that's our PTR TV starting lineup here for the eCars at the 5 Flag Speedway. Let's take a look at the weather that we will be enduring here today. 79 in the air, and that track, you'd think we were in Phoenix, Arizona with a track temp that hot. That will make things slick here, Patrick. 124 degrees.
Yeah, Florida is kind of always in a perpetual state of summer. I mean, as a Florida native, pretty much my entire life. We pretty much go from summer to winter, spring and fall don't really exist here in the Sunshine State, so we'll just have to see how these drivers navigate this extremely scorching hot temperature here on the track today.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get some multi-groove action here with that slick groove. And I know the marbles, you can see there in the shot, the marbles already aplenty here. They were quite prevalent last week at the Kern County race. Where were we? Is that where we were last week? Yeah, it was. Kern County full of marbles, and I expect them to be the same here this evening. But let's see what happens. Keck on the inside, Dressler to the outside, and let's see what happens. Green flag early in the zone. Let's go racing here from 5 Flags, and we're still side by side for the lead. Good jump on the outside.
Indeed, and good maneuver there from William Keck to go to hold on to that position for as long as he's been able to hold on to that position. We're seeing a potential move from the 911 of Johnny Dressler here. He's going to try to go as the training paints goes ahead and refreshes here, but we still know exactly who's battling here. Johnny Dressler is trying to go ahead and get a move for the lead position. He's going to go ahead and try his hardest to get a move done. He's going to go ahead and try to push what I believe is a Cadillac. That number, it says number 44 here, but it is the number 911 to get really close to the wall there.
Yeah, there's a caddy.
Trying to go ahead and duke it on out here. A little bit of contact. And, I mean, they are giving no quarter here in these opening laps here.
Yeah, I got to get it done here with 90 laps. Again, this race is only 24 minutes long, Patrick, if this does stay green. So that'll be enough for fuel. You can very easily make it all the way on fuel, and the tires will take you as far as you push them. So we will see what happens. Jack Fred there, he is about a second back there in the 3rd spot. Then Carpenter in the 31. The only reason I did that trading paints refresh is I was hoping that Dressler would magically turn into a 911 car, but that was not meant to be. Maybe for next week. But here is the pack. Dylan Winters not taking that engagement success into fruition here on the racetrack. He is falling back and in the clutches of Gutekunst, who is also in the clutches of De Guevara there.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and try to get these moves done here. The Las Vegas native, Bryce, is going to go ahead and try not to gamble a bit too much in these opening stints, but he's going to go ahead and try to
look at him sideways.
Oh yeah, we're seeing some really sketchy stuff here in opening laps. Like you said, this track is very slick, so tire grip isn't going to exactly be key here as Bryce is going to go ahead and go wide here. It's going to allow Jack McKee to go ahead and get right up the inside there. He's going to put that number 28 Mustang in his possession, and now it's into the wall. Big accident, and a caution comes out to the surprise of no one. That was a big hit there, Corey.
Yeah, we caught a lot of it live on our cam there, but let's dissect it here from the top-down perspective. 28 of Jack McKee, not clear, not clear, not clear. Oop. And I think that was the 9 of De Guevara. It was. Get one more look at it from De Guevara's perspective. Obviously, he's getting past here. Down to the inside is the 28 of McKee. Now, let's see. Well, up. Hard to tell. We go backwards. Now, this is the point here, Patrick, where I think McKee would expect De Guevara to be a little bit higher on the track. He kind of kept it a lane off the wall. He's entitled to do that. But obviously, it caught McKee at a surprise.
Yeah, there's a little bit of damage too on a number 9 car, so it's unfortunate there. Himself, Colt, Huff, and Jack McKee, those 3 drivers who were directly involved in that, are into the pits. Brad Carpenter also into the pits as well. So once again, a full course caution is out, the first one and hopefully the only one on the night, as we do see some of these drivers making their way out of the pits now. The 2 main drivers involved in that accident earlier, the number 28 and the number 9, just now exiting the pits. So we'll see if they can make a comeback here in this race, but it's going to be tricky because this is only a half-mile track, and we're already a tenth of the way through this race, just about.
Yeah, exactly that. And as we said, only about a 20-25 minute race if this thing goes green. But we saw Keck hang on. Dressler really fought for life on that outside, fell back in line, was actually getting ready to make another comeback surge. I saw him maybe only about about a tenth or so off the back bumper. That was my next thing, was to go and check that battle for the lead. But obviously we got interrupted with that. Also a note that I didn't cover pre-race, but just to reiterate, Jacob Witt was given an EOL to start the race with based on actions that occurred last week. So he is in 11th, trying to work his way through the pack. But we're green flag racing, lap number 14. Again, the Dressler 44/911 and Keck to the inside. In the restart box, it looks as though the inside got the jump, but let's see if he can surge to the outside lane.
Indeed, we'll see if the number 44/911 Cadillac can go ahead and try to get the move done here for the lead of this race, as William Keck is going to try to hold the inside lane here, trying to go ahead and keep a position. Looked like a bit of a snap there from the number 19. The track is still a little bit slick, and if you go too high, you're going to run into Marble Central. So we'll just have to see how these drivers navigate that. But Jack Fred is going to go ahead and try to stay close with these 2 drivers and just kind of wait for one of them to make some kind of slip up, or he's just going to have to try his best to take these corners a bit better than his 2 adversaries just up the front. William Keck is doing a very good job holding that inside line. We see Johnny Dressler trying to switch lanes, trying to switch perspectives, and that Cadillac, you couldn't get much closer than that.
Yeah, we got to thank the patience of both of those drivers, as well as the netcode system, for allowing that to happen without any actual issues. That was as close as you can get. Dylan Winters looking to the inside of Brent Mekas here. That is a battle for the 8th position right here. Behind that is Jacob Witt with the Precision Spotting sponsored. I believe that to be a Mustang. Precision Spotting, again, one of the sponsors here with the league. And I'll put that rotation up on the top right of our screen right here. Take a gander at those.
Ooh.
Into the wall there.
Yeah, the number 2 had went a bit high there, tapped the wall a little bit. He's trying to go ahead and try to get past Nathan Rhew here, but once again, that little bit of a wall tap isn't going to do him too many favors, as he is trying to go as the car up ahead of Nathan Rhew is trying to chase down Dave Beichner there, trying to go ahead and get these positions up. But that number 3 isn't going to give him up without a fight, even though he is now 1.2 seconds off of the race leader.
Yeah, it can't be a number 3 car and be easy to pass. That just kind of goes against oval racing DNA there. So I will say Dylan doing a much better job this sequence here, running a little bit better and closing in on Spencer Teal in that Pepsi car. Can't figure out what's on the hood of that car. It's not a Pepsi logo, but Pepsi's cars nonetheless. I wish Pepsi didn't leave Motorsports because it was always one of my favorite cars to look at. But going back up front, Dressler just hanging back. And you know, last week there, Patrick, we talked in that race, because it was a longer race, because it had a stage, because it had a set of tires, you know, the dynamic of how you had to run was a little bit different. But here, we may have tire savers, comers, and goers in all the lot, because again, no tire changes here on a hot track. What you see now may not be what happens around lap 75, 80.
Yeah, no, and I mean, if you burn up too much of your tires, then you're just going to be in for a rough night, because it is a hot track. There's not really any chance to get a pit stop in. No extra set of tires available for these drivers, so you pretty much just got to make do with what you have. And if you don't use that tire allocation wisely, or in this case just the entire life of that singular set of tires you have for the entire weekend, then you're going to be in a bit of a rough spot, as Dylan Winters is chasing a car from Pensacola, Florida, in a track based in Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah, well, hometown track if you've ever seen it here. So obviously you want to perform best when you are at home here in your backyard, so to speak. And Cody, again in our chat, saying hopefully Dylan can do some passing and stay in the top 10. Well, as of now, he is in the top 10, so that goal being achieved. As I saw something happen to old Johnny B here in the 62, and I am getting a trigger on my back end that something may have happened to Bryce. Something happened in the form of a connection issue. So I guess that's why our system triggered something. It thought he crashed, but instead he just disconnected from the world due to some internet connectivity issues here. But closing in on 1/3 distance, lap number 30. Let's pull up the lap times on our ticker for you. And you can see they're running pretty close up front. A 73 to a 77, 4 100 separating them. This time by 2 100 separating them. But then you go back to Jack Freed, technically the fastest car on the track by a skosh, but whether it's by a little bit or a lot, I'll take being the fastest car on the track.
Indeed,
Jack
yeah.
Fred,
I mean, honestly,
Jack Fred.
I mean, he'll at least get a bit of extra credit for that fastest lap if he can maintain it. But I mean, right now he is doing pretty good. He's currently in P3, a pretty good position for the number 10 to be, as we are just over a third of the way through this race here. Now number 54 getting a little snappy, getting a little fishtaily there through the corner, and that could not work out super well here for that number 54 machine. He is just ahead of the number 31, so that is Jacob Witt battling with Brad Carpenter, as both of them try to slot in right behind the Tennessee Volunteers themed number 86 of Jonathan D. So we'll see if there's going to be any other passes made. Carpenter did get the move done, and now he's going to look ahead to the Tennessee Vols Camaro just up the road.
We'll see what happens here, and who can get who. Starting to spread out a little bit here, which, again, that's both good thing and a bad thing. Depends what spectrum you're on. It's a good thing if you're happy with your position that, I'm gaining time, I'm getting an advantage, I'm getting in my groove. It's a bad thing if, you're stuck in the back and you're trying to work your way up. And obviously, if you don't have a caution, if you're multiple seconds back, you're not going to have a chance. So depending what side of the spectrum you're on, but Keck seems to be pulling away upwards of 0.6 of a second. And as I was saying earlier, it makes you wonder who is on tire saving mode. I saw the 44 dead sideways here, so I'm going to go on a crazy suspicion. He may not be in tire saving mode. He is very high up the track, and you can see him really slideways, opening up the door for Jack Fred.
Yeah, I mean, that was as easy as you'd like it there for Jack Fred. I mean, he got that move done with not really much response from Johnny Dressler. He went very high on the high line there as Aaron Harden is going to go ahead and press on and try to go ahead. He's had a pretty good run here tonight. Started 7th, currently in 4th, looking to make it another position there, as it looks like it's a bit of a snap once again from Johnny Dressler. That Cadillac car just doesn't seem dialed in, and I think it's having a massive rear snap.
Yeah, he has absolutely mutilated the right rear tire on that car, and unfortunately for him, has half the race to go. Who is that? That's Dave Beischen, and they're all the way up in the marbles, and Dylan had reiterated to me, because I was wondering, I'm like, I know the marbles are there visually, but do they actually, affect the car as you'd expect? And he said, absolutely yes, you don't want to be in those marbles, and it takes a lap or two to get them wore off, and Beischener was all the way up there, so that will be a dirty feeling for him. But here comes the 77, Harden underneath the 44, slash 911 of Dressler just sideways in every corner. If he can make 50 more laps like this, that'll be amazing.
Yeah, once again, I mean, unfortunately, we don't have time machines, so we can't see that result ahead of time, but we are going to enjoy watching this spectacle and this beautiful battle as Aaron Harden is going to go ahead and get up another position, but that Cadillac is going to push. But you could just see how he's fighting with the steering wheel. That car is definitely a VIP passenger on the struggle bus right now. Like you said, that rear right is just absolutely flame broiled at this point. And I mean, honestly, he's just fighting to keep it facing in the right direction here. And now he is tucked in behind that number 77. And his race is starting to go from bad to worse.
Yeah, it's the old, you watched the movie Cars, he always said to go fast, you turn right to go left. And taking that quite literally here. Now, if we were on a half mile such as Eldora or such as any of the dirt tracks, turning right to go left would be more the name of the game here. But on the ovals, not usually the strategy that you want to employ. But still, even with that lack there of handling, he's still in 4th. He still has a 2-second buffer on this next back. Whoa, sliding there is the 88 of Nathan Rhew. And he's dead sideways. He's still sideways. Look at that car go. We thought Dressler was loose. Rhew has him beat 3X.
That car is starting to look more and more like a Formula Drift car at this stage of the race. And I mean, you are getting such a massive workout from fighting that car. Oh, now he's way off into the marbles. He's coming into the pits, I think.
Is he bailing?
Oh, no, Nathan. Maybe. No,
yeah.
He's done.
Because again, that's part of it when you have no tire changes is, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, if I'm not having fun, I'm not having fun. That's the name of the game at the end of the day. So unfortunate turn of events there for Nathan Rhew, someone who usually we see running pretty competitively, top 5 driver in most weeks, but we'll see what he can do next week, our next race here in eCAR. I actually read the schedule wrong. I thought we were actually at Oxford this week, but we're at Oxford next week, which essentially one big circle with almost no walls around the place. So that'll be, and actually we've been broadcasting here on PTR TV since 2017. I've never covered a race at Oxford before, so that'll actually be a channel first.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, pretty much looking at the schedule, I think all these tracks are going to be pretty new for me here. I think the only one on this list, actually taking a look at it, none of these tracks coming up are going to be tracks I've ever commentated before, so it'll be a fun learning experience. Honestly, I've been kind of liking oval racing here. It's been a lot of fun, especially when you have good racing like we have here with eCAR. It's been some pretty good battles like Spencer Teal trying to go ahead and put a move on the number 41 just up the road ahead of John Gudenkust. And honestly, I mean, this race has been pretty solid, and I can't believe we're already halfway through. You weren't kidding when you said this is a short race.
Yeah, only 11 minutes and some change if this goes green. And, Patrick, you coming from the road world, there's always the stigma that all these guys are doing is turning left. The road course racing is so much harder. These guys just turn left. I can do it. As you can tell, well, quite literally, they're not just turning left. They are turning right, but the dynamics of hitting your lane, figuring out the dynamic lanes of what lanes to go in, trying to find the runs, and running just within inches, 15-second laps. This is certainly more than what a lot of people think it actually is.
Honestly, the way I like to see it, especially after commentating a few oval races with you now, is that it's different skills. I would say that they're roughly evenly skilled, but it's just a different type of skill that you need on these tracks. Because, I mean, it's like you said, it's just different dynamics. It's a different way of going things. And another motorsport that a lot of people say is really challenging is rally. I mean, going from rally to this to endurance racing, I mean, there's different skills that you have to learn for each one of them. So ultimately, it's just...
No, caution, just as we were about to get a lead battle, naturally, Fred had caught up to Keck on pure pace. Jacob Witt in the 54 done lost it all by his lonesome.
Yeah, that's a big spin there from the 54. Just a little smack against the wall, but still enough to bring out a caution. And I think this might be Jack Fred's chance to go ahead and get a win here if he can get a jump onto William Keck on this restart.
And what it'll do, again, no tire changes. So what a lot of drivers are doing now, we saw it last week at Kern, is, again, we talked about you don't want to run in the marbles because it's lack there of grip. But what the marbles will do, or running anywhere offline, is it's cooler track. Obviously, those bottom rubbered up lanes, those are the hottest, slickest part of the racetrack, but nobody runs in the top lanes. That's cooler track, which in turn will cool your tires down, which also in turn gives you a little bit more grip. So take the positives of the more grip with the negatives of the marbles and get whatever advantage you can.
I hate to be that guy, but Kern was round 1 of the championship, the only round of the series that I did. We did Kern on Tuesday with triple bypass. Last week we were at Langley.
Oh my goodness, I knew it didn't make sense.
I mean, we did just do that track a few days ago, so I understand where it comes from. I had to double check the schedule because I was actually confused myself.
I'm actually looking at it myself, and I'm like, there was a ton of marbles last week, but it didn't, in my head, I'm like, it didn't make sense. But the fact, you know, I know we're still getting used to each other, Patrick, but if you ever find a time to correct me, please do, because I highly appreciate it. So yes, Langley last week was the Marbles Emporium, and as is duplicated here at Five Flags.
It's a bit easier to make that mistake versus calling a Mustang a Porsche. Brett. Anyways, we're about to get going here very, very soon.
Yeah, coming down the back straightaway here now. Easy mathematics. We are now 66.6% done with today's race. Final third here, about 10 minutes left to go. On the loud pedal is Keck, and Fred didn't get the advantage he would have liked. He was just getting to that lead on pure pace. Now he has to fight with Aaron Harden in that number 77 automobile down to the inside. Doesn't want to make this carry on any longer than it needs to. Doesn't want to let the 19 get an advantage. Won't have time to eat it back up.
Indeed, so we'll just have to see who will come out on top of this race here as we go ahead and get closer and closer to the final laps here. We're still a good amount of racing left to go though, but it is going to be make or break for these drivers who are trying to jump positions, trying to jump into the lead here, as Jack Fred and Aaron Harden are going to go in and do battle here. Aaron getting a bit of the better of him now, but it looks like Jack Fred's immediately going to go ahead and respond. And he's going to go ahead and just get really close to the wall there, very close to the high line. And they are still going to go ahead and battle out. There's a caution. It's the number 86. The number 86 Tennessee Volkscar having a bit of a spin there.
Let's take a look here on the replay, and it's all by his lonesome.
Yep, a spinneroonie.
Now, I was going to say, as we're back to live footage, I was going to say it would have almost worked out better for Jack Fred if he stayed in third there, because then he would have been in the inside lane. He could have followed the 19 on the restart, probably got a better jump, stayed closer to him. But he had just by a whisker gotten ahead of Harden there before that caution came out. That put him in second. Now he's going to have to fight on the outside again. Try to clear and give himself any possibility at all to go for the race win.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I mean, yeah, Aaron Harden is definitely on the more advantageous line to go ahead and get this restart going, and there's probably going to be roughly a little over 20 laps to go when we actually do get back started here with this race at Five Flags. So we will see as the lapped car just phases through the pace car and goes around to try to jump back in, unlapping itself, I think.
I was going to say, have you any idea what a lucky dog is, Patrick? I don't think we've ever really discussed it. Free pass, also known as. So a lucky dog / free pass. So here's our little Corey goes back in time story. Circa 2003, when a caution came out in NASCAR, they raced around the track to the caution. So basically, there could be a wreck on the track. They're still racing, and then they would take the caution at the next lap. Obviously, that became highly unsafe, so they made a rule where the field is frozen. And prior to that, you know, when they were racing back to the line, there was a little gentleman's agreement. Sometimes lappers would get their laps back, but that no longer was a thing. So NASCAR made a rule that said the first car off of the lead lap that's not involved in the incident will get just their lap back automatically. So in that instance, Jacob Witt was off of the lead lap. He was not involved in the incident, so automatically he just gets his lap back. So it's just kind of a way to bridge two systems together.
Yeah, that's interesting. In road racing, we have a far less exciting way to call it. But anyways, back to the excitement. We are back racing here on lap 69 out of 90. A nice lap to go to get things back going again. Aaron Harden is going to still hold the inside line. That inside line is very advantageous, especially on this restart. So we'll see if he can keep it, but Jack Fred is not afraid of anything, and he's going to just try to duke it out. He had that position for a moment there in the number 10, but couldn't quite make it stick. He's going to have to give it another go, but as these two are battling here, there's a good chance for William Keck just to continue to just ride off into the sunset here with 20 to go.
Yeah, I think the best thing that Fred could do is what he did there, get in line. Don't let Keck get away, because we don't know what kind of speed Harden has. We know Fred was coming, but we don't know if Harden has the speed to battle here. Let's pull up our ticker times in a second here, and we'll be able to see that. And you can see dead heat, 1/1000th of a second faster for Harden. Let's see what it is at the stripe this time by. And about 0.5 So it does appear Harden has something to play with, 0.3 of a second back. He's making some headway. Behind that, you have Gutekunst and you have Dressler continuing his fall through the field. Brent Mekas trying to get that top 5 spot.
He's going to definitely give it everything he's got here. He's going to try to make up these positions because you're running out of laps here. I mean, there isn't a lot of racing left to go, even though it is 17 laps to go. That's not really a whole lot of time here, so everybody's really going to go ahead and try to get things moving. As the number 14 Honda is going to go in and try to put moves onto the Cadillac, and he's going to try, but nothing yet here.
Dressler still Tokyo drift, right rear in the wind, and how he's hanging on. And of course, Dylan doing what he can. He's under pressure by the other half to get a top 10 finish, and currently in 7th. So doing a successful job in that capacity. But look at the front of the pack, 15 laps to go. And they're there. They are there. They're there. Spell that out in proper English. But either way, 3 cars within 0.2 of a second. Very difficult spot for Harden right now, because he wants to make a move, but he also doesn't want Fred to take advantage of it when he does make a move.
Yeah, so once again, I mean, these drivers are going to have to just go for it, and it looks like we might have a move here from Aaron Harden trying to get up the inside lane.
Loose.
A bit of a loose moment there. Yeah, like you said, Corey, And that little bit of looseness, that slight little wiggle is enough for William Keck to hold on to this position. But honestly, Corey, I don't think this position is going to last long at all. Look how close they get here.
Jack Fred deciding this time I want to take the outside lane, and you can just tell that Keck really has nothing to fight for. The 77's going to get loose. 77's going to dive it in contact, and Keck does save it. That won't bring out a caution. I'm not sure how well it'll pass with the racing control stewards. We do continue green, and Jack Fred has taken the lead. You can see the damage the 77 acquired through that.
Yeah, so once again, to go ahead and get another replay here. So here we go. I mean, we got Harden on the inside, and then we have Jack Fred trying to swing it around the outside. So Aaron taps.
Yeah, I don't
the
think
number 19.
I don't think Harden was expecting. But he wasn't expecting Keck to cut down the track like that. I think he was expecting him to stay high.
Yeah, so that's going to have to go to race control, and we'll see what they decide about that. But honestly, Jack Fred is very lucky that he didn't get caught up in that, because that was probably inches away from collecting him too. Yeah,
absolutely. So, but Keck now, he is struggling, and you kind of think he probably would have fell to third there. Obviously, you want to have a chance to fight for it. You don't want to just have it thrown in your plate like that, but he's back to fifth, and now in the clutches of that next battle. But Gutekunst, he's gotten himself into the third spot here, taking advantage of that on the podium. Aaron Harden in second, and Harden, we'll pull up our battle tracker and just see what's happening here. And at 83 to... I guess he matched 2 laps in a row, an 83 to an 86, so not running faster. That gap is going where we thought. Fred had the pace, and maybe he didn't get the lead the way he expected to, but ultimately I would say the fastest car is where he should be right now.
Yeah, so once again, there's always a lot of factors. There's always a lot of if statements and racing, and there's another caution there.
That is a multifaceted wreck. Beischener came in long after that was over with. Now, let's go back here.
Wobble, spin.
But that,
bit of a death wobble there from the 54.
But that wasn't...
Okay, so
this wreck's all over the place here. The 31 and Keck, and then there's Dylan to the inside. Oh, so yeah, the 19 is just a target here today. Oh, and then Beischinger, I see what happened at Beischinger. Now, he was already committed to running the second lane, and he just couldn't get it down in time and kind of right-reared there in the process.
Yeah, it couldn't course correct quickly enough, but I honestly wouldn't even take anything away from him, because, I mean, honestly, I don't know anybody who would have been able to save that one. I mean, it was just kind of wrong place, wrong time. And there's a bit of the tap there that caused this whole incident, and you can see he was trying with everything that his car had to go in and get that course correction, but just, unfortunately, that ship was already heading towards the iceberg.
And just the way... I don't know what the exact number is, but we'll check it right here as we do go into overtime, I believe, here. 78 laps led for Keck, and this is going to turn into essentially a literal double whammy, getting spun 2 times in the last 15 or so laps.
Yeah, you got to feel bad for him, man. I mean, he led for a vast majority of this race. He had pole position as well to go ahead and kick things off, but this last probably third of the race has just been so rough for that number 19. You really got to feel for him.
Absolutely here, but again, this will send us into overtime, green-white checker territory. So I guess whatever you want to call it. Actually, in the words of Mark Martin. No, wait, I forgot. This league doesn't do green-white checkers. This is how many leagues we cover there, Patrick. I lose track of them. This race will finish as it has. So the white flag in the air. So we will finish as it is. So that'll be Jack Fred in the 10. He's been competitive all season, top 5 speed, but due to a myriad of factors, having some long run pace, he's going to come off turn number 4, and he's going to get himself his first win of the season here in race number 3 at Five Flags for the eCAR Series.
Yes, I mean, it was a good win there for Jack Fred. I mean, even if this last caution didn't come out, I think he was going to win this one anyway. As, I mean, he had some good pace throughout the day, though. And we also saw a good chunk of this pace last week at Langley. So we know Jack Fred was quick. And honestly, I think it was just a matter of time before he got his first race win. And, well, in the chaotic second half of this race, here it is, your race winner.
Yeah, we'll see if he burns it down. We'll kind of give these guys a second or two to pop in here. Most of them use a private voice comm channel, so gives them time to dial up here into the booth. I think there's still guys running on the track, so he can't burn it down. Actually, it looks like they're going to do a podium shot there, but nope, he's retired. He's one of those guys who wants to save the end. That's kind of a thing here in local short track racing there, Patrick, is they don't have the infinite budget, so they're not just going to do a burnout and destroy their engine. They're going to save it for next week here. So he's going to do that, save his car, but let's go and run down the results here today from Five Flags. Course under caution, so the intervals are of minimal significance, but Jack Fred gets the win. John Gutekunst up there in second, Brett Meckes in third, Dylan Winters, the engaged man himself, gets a top 5 out of the deal. We got Spencer Teal in 5th, Jonathan Golden in 6th, Johnny B in 7th, Beischener Keck, gotta be a heartbreak story for him, in 9th, and then Jacob Witt, multiple spins, put him in 10th.
And then looking at the other 7 drivers who took to the track tonight, Brad Carpenter will come home in P11, followed by Aaron Harden, Johnny Dressler, Bryce DeGuvara, Jack McKee, Nathan Rhew, and then Colt Huff, who had a very rough go of things. I think he said he was dealing with internet troubles early on, so yeah, so unfortunate for him, but overall, this was a very good race here at Five Flags, Corey.
Absolutely here. Let's start our post-race show, going right to the top. Jack Fred, got yourself the win, and didn't dominate, but you surely had the pace. You were closing in on Keck there before the caution started, and then you had to battle on the outside. How difficult was it? How worried were you that you weren't going to have a chance there, having to battle on the outside on those last few restarts?
Well, Aaron really fired off great on the restart, so I was a little worried, but, you know, it started coming back to me a few laps in, and I could tell Keck was really struggling with his tires, so I figured the outside was going to be the best place to go.
Yeah, it certainly was. They made that move there, and then there was that contact that obviously happened to him, and then you just kind of drove off into the distance. But obviously we had a track temp here in excess of 120. You said Keck was struggling. We saw so many guys completely right rear happy. Was there some secret sauce in the setup, or did you kind of practice how to keep that car under control tonight?
I was really, you know, paying attention to saving my tires, but I really practiced beforehand the long run, so I knew the track was going to loosen up, so I built my setup more on the tight side and ended up working out.
Yeah, worked out well for you indeed. Well, next week's race, we head to the Essential Circle track up in Oxford. What's the confidence level trying to go back-to-back up there?
You know, I got some work to do again, but hopefully I can go back-to-back.
All right, man. We'll see what you can do. Any final words before we let you go?
I just want to thank everyone watching, you know, just taking time out of their night to give us a watch. I just appreciate it.
All right, absolutely, man. Good job, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, thank you. Bye.
And now, second place, Patrick will have John Gutekunst.
It's like, that's an odd to go about life, I guess.
Well, hey, John.
Yeah.
Welcome to the booth. Congrats on the podium. Overall, how was the race for you, and how was it dealing with the track temperatures out here? Because it was scorching out here today.
Holy cow, was it? Yeah, no, it was a good race. You know, started mid-pack, mid-back-pack there. You know, just like Dale Jr., I can't qualify for crap. So just kind of wait on the tire conservation and putting in, you know, consistent runs to hopefully get us up there at the end. And this week it paid off with a top 3 turn second, I guess. I don't know the actual scoring on that, but either way, pleased with the result.
Indeed. How confident were you coming into this week, considering that it is one of the shorter tracks on the calendar?
Yeah, Five Flags is it's an Achilles heel for, I think, everybody, just because of how, no matter if this track is warm, cool, if there's snow on it, it doesn't matter. It is a slick track. So, a lot of guys working on sets and stuff, trying to build a tighter race car, and then you get heat the tires, and then all of a sudden it's too tight. And it's really just a kind of, you got to build her for a loose set and hold on to your rear end and hope you see the checkered flag and not the wall.
And we saw quite a few drivers getting loose out there, especially as we got closer and closer there to the end. So it is 125 laps at Oxford next week. How are you feeling going into that track?
I'm incredibly scared.
Good response.
You mean a track with no walls doesn't have you nervous at all?
Yeah, exactly. 24, 25 guys, track with no walls. Yeah, piece of cake. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. But anyways, before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out after tonight's race?
Yeah. DMG Maury, CNC Machines. Let's see here. 1776 Motorsports, Mid-South Mafia, Freedom Sim Sports. And as always, thanks to my wife for taking care of the kids while I get to sit down on a Thursday and hang out with you guys and race cars around a circle.
All right. I mean, hey, I couldn't think of many better ways to spend a Thursday night. But once again, congratulations on the P2, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. And now to wrap up our podium here, I got Mr. Brent Meckes here. Brent got you started 9th, ran 3rd. You were in the Hornet's Nest most of the race. Obviously, the late race follies got you here on the podium, but just kind of summarize how your night went for us.
Yeah, it was a lot of tire saving and a lot of conserving, and just trying to just keep the right rear underneath me. I thought I made it too tight going into the feature, but thank goodness I decided to go with the tighter setup than the looser setup, because I don't think I would have had the drive off. I was losing drive in and drive off if I drove it.
Yeah, no, especially
any type of aggressive.
Yeah, and you were battling with Dylan, Spencer. You were in the thick of it all race. I mean, knowing that the race has no tires available, and that if a caution comes out, you're basically stuck with what you got. What's your mentality coming into it? Do you know from lap 1 that you can't afford to be aggressive until the very end, or how do you kind of balance that as a driver?
No, I knew coming in I was just going to try to, arc and save that right rear and try not to slide it around too much and kind of pick my spots. I mean, obviously restarts, you kind of feel like Superman on when your tires get to cool off a little bit. I mean, the track was 132 degrees there at the end, and that, along with not having a lot of surface area left on your right rear tire, does not lead to good things. I don't know what they're at yet. I didn't get a chance to look at them yet, but I'm sure my right rear was pretty low. And yeah, the caution came out at the end. I didn't have anything for John in front of me or anybody else like that. I'd be able to run about the same times, but there was no way I think I could have gotten my car to get under somebody and be able to hold momentum without kicking out that back end.
Yeah, sometimes it's better just to keep what you got rather than pushing the envelope there. Well, we just asked John what's his confidence level heading into Oxford, and he said he's scared. A track with no walls and about 20 cars. What could go wrong? That was his mentality. Where do you stand heading into Oxford next week?
I'm kind of glad that we don't have to worry about pit stops unless something happens where you have an incident on track, because Oxford's pit road is kind of crazy and that always leads to bad things happening. But otherwise than that, I hope I get an inside spot. That's what I'm looking for. If I get an inside spot, I should be able to do pretty well. I get an outside spot, it's probably going to be tough. It's going to be tough sledding, even if it's starting second.
Yeah, sledding.
It's going to be tough sledding at Oxford.
Yeah, sledding quite literally there at that place. But any final words before we let you go, man?
No, I want to thank you guys for putting this on, Dylan for putting everything together, everybody at eCars that makes this happen, all the sponsors out there that let me have fun on a Thursday night and compete with all these great drivers that are out there. I just appreciate everything you do. I'll make sure to post a link and send this out because I think this is my first top 3 in eCars.
Yeah, sounds about right. I know you had a couple good runs at our first time around, but they didn't end the way you'd like. But did a good job here today, and we'll watch you next week, man.
All right, thanks, man. Have a great night.
Too. Well, Patrick, nice quick race here. A little bit of short track follies as you'd expect, but ultimately I think we'd both agree, even though he didn't lead the most laps, I think the fastest car won the race tonight.
Indeed, yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think even without the contact, I think there's a pretty good chance that he would have been able to jump into lead anyway, because, I mean, he was quick last week at Langley, he was quick this week here at Five Flags, so like I said earlier, I think it was only a matter of time before he did get that first race win, and everything just went right for him here tonight.
Absolutely the case here, so we'll see what happens, but make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff here. We'll be live again on Sunday, restart the week with Triple Bypass in their Cup Series, Tuesday ARCA Series, Wednesday Elbows Out, Thursday here with some more eCAR busy time. Let's have you along for the ride with us. But that's going to be Corey and Patrick signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.